Hello there! Video game glitches can be game-breaking, they can be horrifying, and they can be downright hilarious. Fortnite may have the most glitches in any game ever, so let's count down the best of them. Chapter 3 of Fortnite brought one of the most iconic glitches ever seen in the game, all thanks to these. Tires. Players discovered that throwing those rubber rings at inanimate objects caused this to happen. For a few days back then, nobody was playing to win. It was about breaking the game in the most ludicrous ways. And that's when the most mind-blowing object was affected by this glitch. The giant foundation statue. So supposedly, I just throw this here and... oh my god, where did it go? Where's it gone? Okay, so it flew off. A day later, Epic Games patched the glitch, but to honour that moment, tyres were left all around the statue. RIP the tyre glitch, gone, but never forgotten.
Nope.
During Chapter 2, Season 2, it was possible to resize our character to create this. By using a prop gun and jumping into a portal during the animation, the character's size would remain the same as the item used. Watching Muselk attempt to 1v1 Fresh whilst being 6 inches tall will forever live in my memory.
What?
A year later, another glitch allowed half-size characters to be created in battle labs. Lachlan used it to make a gang of mini-me's and play hide and seek.
Oh, this is so dope.
Season 5 of Chapter 2 brought us a warrior character called Maeve, who had the cool ability to transform her legs into fins when swimming. It was, and still is, a very unique character, so many of us didn't want to wait to unlock the skin in the Battle Pass and used Mystique instead to shapeshift. And then we jumped in the water, and this happened. Maeve was straight up split in half. Her legs vanished and no fishtail appeared. She became half the woman she was, thrashing about in the water. A couple of seasons later, and a gigantic alien invasion came to town, complete with terrifying parasites that stick to players' heads. Someone with a bigger brain than me decided to help a friend remove the alien whilst they were sat on a turret. Yeah, for some reason this happened. Their human head never returned. We couldn't resist making an entire squad of headless delinquents in 2021. Did you ever try it? This issue was so bad that even using a shadow bomb could remove a character's head. Epic did their thing and quickly patched it out. When boats arrived in Fortnite, getting around the island became a little bit easier in water. Well, of course, there's a glitch that changed how we used them, by making them fly.
Oh, I got it. I'm the Flying Dutchman, boys.
There were a few ways to make this happen. By simply driving into a waterfall over and over again, the boat would eventually rise into the sky. Or another way was to drive to the top of the waterfall and place the boat right on the edge. Then by getting out and in again, somehow the boat would just continue as if it was on water, 200 feet in the air. How confusing must this have been for anyone down below? And boats weren't the only vehicle that was made to fly. When the ripsaws were added, we stumbled upon this glitch. By cutting into the perfect spot on the windscreen, the road vehicle would become a helicopter. It was totally useless, we couldn't drive anywhere, but it looked pretty amazing for the time. In fact, there were so many ways to get a flying vehicle back then. It's almost impossible to count them all. A glitch that didn't completely break the game, but made it amusing, did this. Giant emotes. This one was perfect for trolling players by taking up the entire screen with something like a clapperboard or a popcorn tub.
I can't see it. Stop!
By jumping into a golf cart and holding down the emote wheel and then switching seats, any emote we chose that had an item involved suddenly grew to this size.
Yeah, exactly.
A glitch on the very first island of Fortnite was all about tilted towers and a chain reaction. Nobody knows why this worked, but by breaking one single build, entire buildings could be toppled in a second.
There you have it, you've officially destroyed a building.
It was so simple that everyone tried it, including streamers. Here's the best one I found. Scout TV linked all the buildings together to reduce tilted towers in just 2 swings of a pickaxe. Amazing. The most iconic Fortnite glitch of all time must be when Kit joined the Battle Pass. It was possible to use his inbuilt emote on other characters, creating such a monstrosity it'll give you nightmares. Up in Chapter 5, the wings were introduced. We could fly across the map, but there was a glitch here too. By dive bombing into the trash, our character would be transported higher and higher and higher. In fact, so high they were above the storm clouds. Players even found a way to out-heal their enemies on the ground to win the game. And that's because if they jumped down from here, they'd fall through the map completely to their death.
I'm through the map. What just happened?
Thinking back to Chapter 2 of Fortnite, it had so many of the best glitches to play with. Almost all had no advantage, but some were funnier than others, like the giant glitch. It was all about the inflatable item. Vaulted many years ago now, if a teammate was knocked, the player with the inflatable could activate it at the same time as picking up a downed player. If done right, the person in their arms is now a little bit bigger. And by repeating this process over and over again, we created this. It was impossible to play, and the character occasionally just floated through the world or floated completely out of sight, but it was so much fun at the time. Did you ever use the invisibility glitch that let players become floating weapons? This one was found when using both the hoverboard and one of the changing booths. By jumping in the telephone booth while flying past on a hoverboard, by the time the player exited again, the skin was cancelled out, leaving absolutely nothing behind. Totally invisible, yet anything held, like blueprints or a weapon, remained visible. A glitch that was a little more sus was thanks to the Calamity skin. Yeah, you remember it, don't you? Somehow, jiggle physics were applied to Calamity accidentally, and the community lost its mind.
Are you serious?
Fortnite, this is a kid's game. Do we really need the...
The Jubilation emote will forever go down in history as the moment we all understood the power of boobs. Something a little more wholesome now. Remember the brute mechs. When these beasts were added, they had an ultra small selection of emotes that could be used when inside. All the others were locked away. Thankfully, there was a trick, allowing all emotes to be used regardless of how insane they appear. By entering the vehicle at the very same time as triggering an emote, the bot would happily join in. From kick-ups with the football to recreating Street Fighter poses, and all the traversal emotes too. But that wasn't the worst glitch about these mechs. By timing a stomp perfectly, the mech became invisible.
What? It's invisible!
Speaking of invisible, another glitch which ruined the sand tunneling season allowed players to walk around completely undetectable. By allowing our character to slowly sink into the sand and then used a harpoon at the right moment, players re-emerged and nobody could see them.
Yes, sir! Let's go, Invincible, let's go!
Streamers use this glitch to troll other players, but never to unalive them.
It's all your loot. It's all yours. Just kidding, not those.
But I gotta admit, during that week, carrying a Rift to Go was the only real way to counter the invisibility.
No, what?
Epic did patch it, and eventually sand tunneling was taken out forever. The only glitch worse than being invisible is being invulnerable. Invincibility became real. It was very tricky though. By timing a mech stomp at the perfect time as being hit by a junk rift, the mech would take all the damage, and the lucky player inside received God mode. Nobody could hurt them. They could walk all the way to the final circle.
You got this, dude. You got this. Snipe me, snipe me. Oh, what's happening?
Luckily, this glitch was incredibly difficult to pull off, so only a very small amount of players really knew what it felt like to be invincible. So that was a bunch of times that glitches have affected our beloved game. I'm Adam, sorry I haven't been around much lately. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next time.